Hello and welcome. Considering that it is January 30th, we are nearing last day of the year, which is a pretty big deal, I guess, especially if you're anything like me. You've done a lot of growing. I anticipate another extremely eventful year, if not more so. I don't know what's going to happen. I have some ideas, but we're going to have to wait and see if they actually come to fruition or not. So I figured I would do a short video for you guys. Well, also for myself. This is partially for me too. It helps me to see these landmarks of where I'm going, where I've been, all sorts of things like that. So without further ado, here is my year in review. The first thing that I can really think of that showed up for me this year as a very significant turn of events, I guess, is that I rediscovered my passion, which is making things. I just really love to make things. If I could make things all day, every day, if I could be doing what I want to do, which is working in art department, in film and television, if I can get some jobs doing stage again, it would be absolute dream come true. A lot of people, when they think, oh, you know, this person wants to work in film or television, it means that you want to be on stage, you want to be in front of the camera. And for me, that's really not the case. I would much rather make the pretty things you see on camera, make the things that the artists interact with, organize how the overall look of the project's gonna be. This year, I've taken a lot of steps towards that. This facet of my personality to always be making things, this showed up really early. I was that weird kid that was always like doodling, drawing monsters and creatures, maps of places that didn't exist and stuff on my school notes, which are otherwise immaculate because I was a huge nerd. Yeah, I'm still a really big nerd. I would also go around on recycling night and steal plastic recyclables, extra cardboard, bottles and tins and boxes, and I would bring them home and I would turn them into puppets, marionettes, things with articulated limbs and movable. I wanted to make animated things, and plus I was a huge fan of the Muppets. I still am a huge fan of the Muppets. Another thing that I would do would be, I had this old camcorder and I would get a bunch of my more unusual friends together and we would film like in my basement, in my backyard, all these different crazy scenes from my favorite books. I can't believe that it took me this long to put together what it is I want to do. I cannot believe that I let it go. I learned to overcome a lot of my PTSD. I was sexually assaulted in August of 2012. After that happened, I developed complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I became agoraphobic, which means I was not able to leave my house. I wasn't able to interact with other people for long periods of time. I could not be touched. I wasn't able to eat. I fell into a very serious depression, and I would get panicky about things like even going out onto the porch and getting the mail. That was a huge ordeal. I wasn't able to socialize with people properly, especially men, and it took a really long time for me to be able to sort of rebuild myself into a functioning sort of person. I did that through a lot of personal work. I couldn't really afford therapy or anything like that. I did it with a lot of commitment. Physical fitness became a huge thing for me. I also met someone that turned out to be great for me. It was a really great experience, and although we're not seeing each other anymore, I wouldn't take that back. He was one of the core people that was really there through the whole, you know, rebuilding phase and relearning everything. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for this person who was willing to go that extra mile with me. And I mean, I'm not saying that it was all on them. Like this recovery was me. I'm really proud of myself. I learned how to overcome what my new set of obstacles was, and it actually taught me how to manage the other one, the chronic one, a lot better too, because suddenly, you know, I'm developing and learning all these tools to deal with a certain set of problems, and they're applicable to all these other problems that I have to deal with. This year marks exactly 10 years being formally diagnosed with a form of mental illness. If I'm honest, I didn't think that I would get this far. I'm going to be turning 24 in March, so one step closer to making it past the number I didn't think I would make it to. I started public speaking. Yeah, one of my friends, Osric, he kind of did the old, come on, you can do it. And once I mentioned it to him once, oh, I have this interest in doing this thing, suddenly it became a thing that he would ask about all the time. I knew that I wanted to do it, but I didn't have anybody that was really like, yeah, this is totally a thing you can do. And it was nice to suddenly have a friend that was sort of like, okay, well, no, you got this. Let me see what you've written. I'll help you write something. You can talk about it to me if you want first. And it turned out actually surprisingly well. So the first time I spoke was in September. I did it through the CMHA, so that's the Canadian Mental Health Association. Basically what I did was I wrote out my entire story, everything that happened, my perspectives on things. I knew that there was no way that I was going to memorize the whole thing. So I wrote everything down, walked in, did one of these. Hi, I have no idea what I'm doing. I remember I talked for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. At the end, almost everybody in the audience came up and gave me a hug. It wasn't the biggest place. It was probably like 40 people. And almost everybody came up after and wanted to talk to me. Since that first event, I've sold out every single one of my talks. I relearned how to love and be loved. The first real relationship that I ever had ended up being extremely abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. Near the end, it started to teeter towards hints of physical threat. It was not good. It was not good. So by the time I got out and away, which took me a really, really long time, I think this was the first year that I had absolutely zero contact with this person, which, by the way, awesome. I got out and I got away and I met someone actually really, really nice. It was the first real solidly healthy relationship that I had that really meant something to me. It was the second time that I really fell in love with someone, and it was kind of awesome. And learning how to do that again was huge because here, I had all this trust breached in a previous really bad relationship. Suddenly I had this person who was, who I could trust, who I could believe in, who I could rely on, and it was amazing. I'm really proud of myself for being able to, to put myself out there and to try again. This one's really fun. I went to Vancouver for the first time this year. We went to Vancouver Fashion Week. That was such a big deal for me. I've never been to an event like that ever. It was so nice because we got on runway seats. So I was like right there next to all the models walking down. I could see all of the clothes. It was really exciting for me. I've never had an opportunity like that. It was great. I saw the aquarium. They actually had a jellyfish exhibit on. Seeing all the really, really cool jellyfish was awesome. I saw my first 4D film, which was weird and kind of cute because it was SpongeBob. I saw Stanley Park. I actually found a heron feather, and I've never had a heron feather before, so that was exciting. Seeing the park, it was just really beautiful. I really, really loved it. Went to attempt to climb a mountain, but unfortunately I dissociated partway up, so we ended up sitting on some rocks, looking at the view, almost to the top. Maybe when I go back next time I'll be better able to do it. I recorded a song. I don't like my voice, so this was kind of a big deal for me. Out for the whole day, and then out at night for bubble tea, and then, hey, one sat down on this side, and one sat down on this side. I got a little bit grilled until I agreed, okay, we'll go back. We'll try one song. And I still remember I was so stressed and so snappy, and I kicked Osric out of the room. I'm like, no, I'm not singing with you in here. You get out. I will sing in front of you. And I have no idea what he did while we were in there, but we did it. There was a lot of really late nights because I also went to work with him, which meant I went, to all of his shoots. We toured around the city a bunch. He deliberately introduced me to a whole bunch of people that I got along with really well. That's sort of when I decided that, all these people are doing the kind of career that I want to do, so what's stopping me from being able to do it? Nothing. I'm really thankful for that. I don't know, this trip was huge for me. It was really big. Those are the top 5 things I can think of that were really important to me this year. I suppose that makes for my year in review. It's been a hell of a year. It's been a lot to go through, a lot of adjustments, a lot of gains and a lot of losses, mostly gains. So I'm very happy, and I'm really excited about the potential in this upcoming year.